As world economies continue to reel from the economic recession triggered by the subprime mortgage crisis in the United States in 2008, Trinidad and Tobago finds itself in a unique position of experiencing economic growth. The phenomenon is attributed to the country's ongoing efforts to generate economic activity throughout the country, in addition to the capital, Port of Spain. At the root of the change is diversification from oil and gas, which represents 70% of the GDP, but employs 5% of the population. Opportunities have been created in the financial sector, in ICT, tourism, the creative industries of film, fashion and music, the agricultural sector, maritime services, and in the downstream energy sector. Encouraging foreign direct investment is important, but as important as providing opportunities for local direct investment. A significant opportunity for businesses and consumers alike was the hosting of SouthEx in San Fernando at the Napa South Campus after a 6-year hiatus. First launched in 1991, SouthEx started with 8 booths at the Gulf City Mall and grew to host 174 businesses by its close in 2007. At the launch, organizer George Singh said finding a new home at SAPA would bring benefits to the South and the entire country.
This is really an exciting day for me, an exciting day for San Fernando. I think this was always an event that drove a lot of business in San Fernando, generated a lot of business, always around close to Christmas time. It was almost like the launch of the Christmas season in South. When you walk around this particular expo, you will see serious businesses. There's a serious corporate presence here, and I think that people are really interested in showing their products. And why not in San Fernando? San Fernando is a huge market. This is the only business event in San Fernando, and it will continue from 2013 to be an annual event as it was from 1991, and we are happy to be able to produce it in San Fernando, and we hope that it will continue to grow back to where it was at between 175 to 200 booths annually.
President of the San Fernando Business Association, Mrs. Daphne Bartlett, congratulated Mr. Singh and his wife Priya Singh for setting a good example as business people and contributors to the economic growth of the city and the nation.
Being an entrepreneur is a very important thing in the modern day world because you would be employing yourself. You would not become a burden to the government, to the country looking for a job. You would be able to employ yourself and employ others. Indeed, we have seen many of Mr. and Mrs. Singh's employees walking around, and I was really happy to know that he's having an exhibition. He's going to invite school children to come around, and I'm sure when they leave here, they would be inspired to do something, if not like this, but they would be inspired to do something like becoming an entrepreneur.
Member of Parliament for San Fernando West and Minister of Public Administration, the Honourable Caroline Sipasat Bachan, extolled the beauty and dynamism of the industrial and energy capital, describing the location and event as an incubator for growth and innovation.
In terms of its contribution to South Trinidad, SouthEx is itself an interesting concept that is still valid, not just for its popularity, but also because of the very real benefits it provides not only to San Fernando, but to Trinidad and Tobago as a whole. While SouthEx represents or presents opportunities for different organizations to exhibit their products, it also combines other elements that help to showcase our skills, culture, and food.
The introduction of it is very important, not only to the business community, but to the average folk that's around, to realize the vast variety of businesses that we have in Trinidad and Tobago, you know, from all spheres, from all industries. So I think it's very important that we have an event like this every year to really bring awareness to the diversity that we have in our industries in Trinidad and Tobago, right, as far as business is concerned.
Another exhibitor, TSTT, supported the event and provided attendees with the means to share their experience at SouthEx in real time. Executive Vice President Rakesh Goswami explains.
Today it is as natural as breathing for someone to capture and share where they are, what they're wearing, what they're eating, and anything that made them stop and go, wow. It is an important form of engagement, and those conversations that subtly influence consumer attitudes towards your company and your brand. TSTT is committed to putting the infrastructure in place to support the evolution of that kind of knowledge-driven lifestyle, so that in partnership with businesses, we improve the quality of life of citizens.
Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment, the Honourable Vasant Bharath, described SouthEx as an example of an environment that enables trade. At the launch, he shared the benefits of another initiative that supports economic activity, the single electronic window.
E-company registration has been reduced now from 7 days to 3 working days. Work permits have been reduced from 6 weeks to 2.5 weeks. Import and export permits have been reduced from 4 weeks to 1 day. Certificates of origin, which manufacturers require, has been reduced from 1 day to half an hour. Import duty concessions have been reduced from 6 weeks to 11 days. And VAT registration, which has been a bugbear, major bugbear, because until now, it took 30 days to get a VAT registration or BIR number. We've now reduced that by law. We've enshrined it in law in that same Customs Amendment Bill to 24 hours.
Minister Bharath congratulated the organisers of SouthEx, noting that the effort has the support of the government as it serves to fuel the economic growth of the country. In closing, he shared the wider vision of Trinidad and Tobago as an economic hub for the international community.
Trinidad and Tobago continues to position itself as a gateway to the Americas, both south and north. Every time I sell Trinidad and Tobago when I go abroad, I just don't sell the market of 1.3 million people. I sell a market of 600 million people, essentially because those are the ones on our doorstep. And we have created major links with manufacturers across the globe to be able to access those markets through the bilateral agreements we've signed with many South and Central American countries. So for example, when I go to Asia and I sell Trinidad to the Asians, I say, listen, I said, you have the opportunity to come to Trinidad and Tobago, partner, if necessary, with a Trinidadian national firm and manufacture your products for sale, not just to Trinidad, not just to the CARICOM region, not just to CARIFORUM, but to South, Central and Latin America, many of whom we have bilateral agreements with. And so therefore, a lot of the logistical issues they have of shipping from China or from South Korea, where not just you have the time frame for shipment, but you also have duties that they would have to incur in those markets. We don't have any of those problems, and so therefore that would be the reason for coming to Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, in addition to many of the other advantages we have of cheap electricity, a literate workforce, and sun, sand and sea, of course.